In music, Count Basie was the first African-American man to win a Grammy Award. Ella Fitzgerald was the first African-American woman to win a Grammy Award. In theater, Juanita Hall was the first African-American to win a Tony Award. In literature, Gwendolyn Brooks was the first African-American to win a Pulitzer. In great achievements or humankind, Dr. Ralph Bunche was the first African-American to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In television, Harry Belafonte was the first African-American to win an Emmy Award. In film and movies, Hattie McDaniel was the first African-American to win an Academy Award. Count Basie was born in Red Bank, New Jersey. A Grand Master of jazz, he influenced musical styles and trends in jazz emerging during the big band era. Basie was elected to Downbeat magazine's Hall of Fame in 1958. The Kid from Red Bank received an honorary doctorate of music from the Philadelphia Music Academy in 1974. A legendary band leader and pianist, Basie's music sustains enduring popularity. Ella Fitzgerald, a jazz great, was one of the first African-American singers to appeal to both black and white audiences. Poverty could not suppress the raw talent that was to lead to her eventual success. She was born in Newport News, Virginia. Her family chose to make New York City their adopted home. As a teenager in the 1930s, Fitzgerald was to begin 6 decades of performance encompassing 250 recordings and 13 Grammy Awards. She popularized the jazz style called scat singing. Juanita Hall was an African-American woman who excelled in playing roles meant for Asians. She created the role of Bloody Mary in the 1950 Broadway production of South Pacific. The New Jersey native performed in her first major role on Broadway in a 1928 production of Showboat. She played Madame Liang in the Flower Drum Song. Gwendolyn Brooks, Guggenheim Fellow, creative writing teacher, and acclaimed poet, was picked as one of 10 Women of the Year by Mademoiselle magazine in 1946. Gwendolyn was named Poet Laureate of Illinois in 1968. She was born in Topeka, Kansas, and raised in Chicago. Dr. Ralph Bunche was instrumental in negotiating peace between Israel and the Arab world in 1948. He was the first black official in the U.S. State Department. Dr. Bunche earned his doctorate from Harvard in 1934. He was Undersecretary of the United Nations between 1955 and 1971. Harry Belafonte is one of the most successful crossover African-American music and film personalities in history prior to and while the USA marched into the 1960s civil rights movement. Belafonte was an activist involved in helping lead the movement. He was born in Harlem, New York in 1927. Musically, he mixed calypso, jazz, folk, and world beat rhythms into a string of hits, including Banana Boat. From Wichita, Kansas, Hattie McDaniel was slotted into a string of maid and mammy roles by Hollywood in the 1930s. Before acting, she was a band vocalist. In Hollywood, the role of her career was Mammy in 1939's Gone with the Wind. When she won the Academy Award, the first African-American to win an Oscar, she received it at a segregated ceremony and was forced to sit in the back, away from the rest of the cast. For BlackHistoryPeople.com, I'm Hugh Smith.